my sweet friends, I hope you are all doing well. I am so excited to be sharing day one of our 13 Days of Halloween series. If you're new around here, welcome. I'm Ginny, and I glue little pieces of paper to other little pieces of paper, and I love to share my projects with you. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button to join our crafty little family, and don't forget to listen throughout the video for the question of the day. Today's project starts with bags from the Dollar Tree, and we have used them in the past and have always enjoyed the shortcut to getting to the fun part, which is adding the collection papers and the finishing details. So today we're going to use those bags, but in a different orientation so that we can achieve additional pockets to add all the inserts so there's room for all the pictures and journaling. If that sounds good to you, then stick with me and we'll make it together. I've got the Simple Stories collection here, which is no surprise to anyone because Simple Stories is my absolute favorite. This is the Faboolous collection, and I have the 12 by 12 collection kit, which includes the stickers. And the paper bags that I'm using are, of course, from the Dollar Tree. This was a set of 3, original size 5 1/4 by 8 1/4, and I've just clipped off the top portion where the handle would be. For this project, I am using 2 sets of these, so 6 bags total. And here I have my bags cut down to 5.5 inches. This will be a 6-inch high album, but I have my inserts extending beyond the top so that I can see all those fun paper layers. I've got my black cardstock here cut to make the pages. It is 5.5 inches high by 10 3/4 of an inch wide. It's scored at 5 1/4 and also 5.5. I need 2 of these, one for either side. I'm going to join it to the second piece here, and this measures 5.5 by 11 1/4. I'm going to join these before I score this just so that I get the exact perfect fit. This is a very good place for our 2 glue combo. So I'll start with my double-sided adhesive and then also run a row of my Tombow. The double-sided adhesive will keep that in place while the wet glue sets up. And I'm just going to bring these corners together so that I have it exactly perfect along the side and the bottom. That keeps everything nice and square and even. I'll press this into place just so that I get a good contact, but then we can continue to work along because of that double-sided tape. So now what I want to do is run my first score line here. So I'll just lay this on my scoreboard and line up this crease with one of the grooves in the board, and I'll just lay in my first score, and then I'll go ahead and fold that now so that it will be easier where there are not a lot of bulky items on the inside. So now I want to add the bags to this folio. And as I mentioned, we're going to use these in a different orientation. In the past, we have used them in this direction. Now we're going to flip them so that they're a portrait orientation. Then we'll pick up the pockets on the top as well as the pockets on the inside. So I'm going to continue to use my 2 glue combo to adhere these. This time I'm going to line up the bag with the score line and then along the bottom. The reason I didn't give an exact measurement for that is because there is a slight difference in the measurements for items that are mass produced. You just have to embrace that imperfection. So I'm choosing to do it this way, and then I can clip off the excess, and then I know that it is going to measure perfectly. So I just cut down along the side. And I will repeat that process for the remaining 2 bags for this side. And now that last bag will go on to the outside. So now we want to add our collection papers. I'm just going to add a pattern to the back and then also the pocket. The measurement for the cardstock for the back is going to be 3 3/4 high by 4 7/8 inch wide. I just want to go ahead and scooch that under there and then center it so that I get a nice border of that bag around the outside. And then I'm also going to choose a complementary pattern. So I'm going with a large all over here. And then this one is a geometric. And the measurement for the pocket is 2 3/8 by 4 7/8. I was able to cut these from the offcuts as I was working along. So that helped me use my paper a little bit more frugally. And so I'm just going to repeat that process. For each of the pages that show together, I'm going to use the same combination just for a little bit of consistency. But if you are working it through your stash, it would make sense to go ahead and mix and match just so that you could get through your paper. So use whatever combination makes you happy. And I'm just going to finish these off here. I think the pink in this combination is making this collection seem a lot more updated and fresh. And so I really appreciate them adding that non-traditional color palette. Here is that last pocket section. Now we have plenty of room in here for inserts. I'm going to start with the ones in the back. And so once this is tipped up right side, you will see there are pockets here on the top. Now that's where we're going to get the height of our book, is in the inserts. So when this is closed, this will be the front page. And so I'm going to pick a pattern that I think will go very nicely with that front cover. And so I've just got this here. I added the pattern paper to cardstock to make it a little bit sturdier for putting in and out of the pocket. And so the tag itself for the cardstock is 6 high by 4.5 wide. And the pattern paper is 5 7/8 by 4 1/8. And then I'm also going to include one of the 4x6 cut apart cards. And so I just went ahead and clipped off the edges. I rounded those to give it a little bit of extra detail. And I did the same for the insert as well. So I want to have them back to back so that each side will have some detail showing. And so that will just sit right in that pocket and give us the extra height for our book. I would do that for all of the pages here. And so I'm just going to repeat that same process and the same measurements. This is also going to really add a lot of thickness and sturdiness to the book. Here is our last page. I've prepared the section for the right-hand side, and so I have just used the same measurements and the same process to finish those with my pockets, my pattern paper, and the inserts as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and add my glue. Line this right on up to the corner and the side. Then I'm bringing my scoreboard back in and lining that up so that I can create the score for the other side. I can see we have a pretty good depth for our spine, and that will help to accommodate all the space we need for our finishing details. Crease that over to make sure that we have a good crisp crease here. And now you can see that we have loads of room in here. It's very thick and very sturdy. To add a little bit of pattern paper here to the spine. I left this measurement until I had it all assembled because I just wanted to make sure that I got it as close as possible. So it seems like we have about 3/4 of an inch here. So I'm just going to cut my pattern paper there to be 5 3/8 high by 5/8 wide. So I'll just add my 2 glue combo for this strip for the spine. Pretty careful not to get it too close to the edge because you don't want that to splooge out and make a mess. And I'll just go ahead and add another strip to the inside to finish that off with a little extra detail, make that spine a little sturdier. And then while I'm at it, I'll just go ahead and finish the back. So the pattern paper for the cover is going to be 5 3/8 by 4 7/8. I want to add a little trim here so that I can tie this up and keep all of the inserts secure. So I'm just measuring off the amount I need to tie a generous bow. Tack that into place. Then I'll secure that ribbon trim between the layers of the pattern paper and the base. For the cover, I do want to add a layering pattern. This is optional, but I just think it helps to give it a little bit of extra detail. I want to neutralize a little bit of that background so that I can add my focal image, and that will be a doily that is die cut from a crisp white cardstock. And then the image that I picked is one of the cut apart journal cards. I did die cut that with a stitched edge detail. I added it to thick cardstock, popped it up on foam tabs. I've added an eyelet and then some twine going through. And so this is just going to be focused a little bit toward the right and a little higher than middle. Before I press that down fully, I'm going to add one of these die cut stars. Now that I know the position of this, it will be easier to get that in just the right spot. Here is the flower arrangement I created for this album. They are all made by me with offcuts of my cardstock. I finished them with some double head stamens from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I've included some die cut foliage here in a more fall theme. There's netting, loopy twine bows, some additional stars here to bring the detail out to the other corner, and then some bow created with the same trim. And this is just going to go right along the bottom. I'm going to attach that with hot glue so it's very secure. I want to add a couple of charms here as well. There's plenty of room on the side of this cut apart image, so I'll just attach these with string, remove the excess, and then top that cut string with a button. Okay, now we can go back and look at those pockets on the inside. If there is one thing you can say about a Simple Stories collection, is that it has a lot of cut apart images. So there will be plenty of different images in the different sizes to fill your pockets. So I'm going to pick a 4x4 cut apart, and then also a 3x4. And so this is going to give you plenty of room to add pictures on the back. I think that you could choose to seal up the sides of these pockets, but I think once it's all folded up in here, it will be very secure. And then when it's tied with that ribbon, you'll have no trouble with that. So you can choose to do that, but I'm deciding not to for this project. Okay, now that we're just filling the pockets with our tag inserts, it's a good time for the question of the day. Would you rather go to a You Pick orchard and pick apples, or a pumpkin patch to select your perfect pumpkin for carving to add to your holiday decor? And I'm going to pick orchard because they often have cider and fresh donuts and a sweet little shop where you can get country-made offerings like apple butter and homemade pies. So that is my choice. Let me know in the comments what you are going to pick. So you're going to get 4 inserts for each of these bags, and that will give you plenty of room. See how nice and thick and chunky that is. And so let's just go ahead and tie this up. So that's it for day 1. Make sure you come back tomorrow to join us for day 2. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, let me know in the comments and give me a big thumbs up for this video. I'll leave links in the description to the products I mentioned, as well as for all our socials. If you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe to join our crafty little family. As always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye.